We have all heard the phrase that communication is key in relationships, though the idea behind that and what that actually means is often in of itself miscommunicated. It's actually not very well understood why communication is key, and it is often associated with letting people know how you feel. And this is, of course, a core part of communication. Being able to express what you think and you feel is very important in a relationship. But there is something that underpins it even more so than just telling people and talking about your own feelings and your own experience. There is a deeper layer of truth that directly explains why communication is key. And this is authenticity. And these concepts may seem like they're only loosely related, but they are actually directly correlated, where authenticity is the freedom and the choice to express yourself as you truly are. And communication is to communicate that expression, to show people and to tell people, this is who I am, this is what I think, this is what I feel, and this is what I believe. But what happens is that authentic expression of ourselves gets split apart, and we develop all these different alter egos that do the talking for us. We aren't talking authentically, we are talking as an ego, whether that is the parent, whether that is the teacher, whether that is the child, whether that is the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the husband, the wife. You are expressing yourself through these ego identities depending on where you are. You may have heard that you have a work voice, and you speak very professionally at work, and when you're with your friends you probably speak very relaxed and you're comfortable and you're slightly more authentic. So we are well aware that communication is a form of masking where we are representing ourselves in a different way, all dependent on who's in front of us. And this internal process is ongoing, where we are judging and dictating the people in front of us and trying to govern this process so that we are representing ourselves in a way that is going to be acceptable to the person consuming that information. Where we want to be liked, we want to be loved, we want to be praised, or we want to be on the receiving end of benefits or job opportunities or whatever it is. So we end up creating this caricature of ourselves and then engaging in dialogue and interfacing with other humans where we're almost throwing up an avatar. This is my work avatar, this is my parent avatar, this is my friend avatar or my relationship avatar. We have all of these different ways of communicating with different people. And so we end up sort of chameleoning ourselves into different beings depending on who we're interacting with. And there is a very good reason of why we measure relationships in distance. We say close relationships, my closest friend. It's a distance. And that distance is uncommunicated you. And it's also uncommunicated them. The more we hide ourselves, the less authentic we are, the more of a void, the more distance there is in a relationship. And the reason you might say my best friend or my partner, my wife, my husband, who I love so much, is because you feel like you can be most yourself around them. You are closest to revealing who you really are. And yet, even by saying our closest relationships, that means that there is still a gap. We are not truly together because we believe that it's impossible to be truly authentic. If I was truly authentic, I would lose my job. If I was truly authentic, I would lose my friends. If I was truly authentic, I would lose all my relationships. No one would like me. No one would talk to me. No one would want me, is what we hold on to. And you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe everything in your life right now is based on a lie that you have been communicating. You have been misrepresenting who you are, what you believe, and what you think. You have been telling people a deception. You have convinced them that you are a certain kind of person when you are not. Or you maybe are, but you are also other kinds of person. There is more to you than you are letting on. Every time that somebody does something that you don't like and you don't tell them, you swallow it, or you want them to do something and you don't ask for it, all of these uncommunicated things begin to develop a void and a rift. And this is why they say marriages grow apart, because more stuff is thrown into the void. It's creating separation by increasing the distance, because there's more uncommunicated feelings, there's more uncommunicated resentment, there's more uncommunicated desires. It may be that you feel like you can't be honest with your partner, you can't be honest with your friends because they will reject you, or they will not like you anymore, or you feel like it will upset or hurt them. Or to be even more blunt, would be to say your choice is to live a lie or live truthfully, live authentically. And this seems almost impossible, because it's not just you that you have to contend with. It's also the fact that this is such a vast and common problem where everyone is doing this. And it's so rare to meet somebody authentic. It's so rare to meet somebody who really tells you how they feel and you know that they genuinely mean it. I feel like with social media and all these kind of things, like online personas and stuff like that, it's just gotten so much worse that we are that much more inauthentic because we create these personas online and we then believe that we are them. You see people start to develop ideologies and identities based on this person that they are creating, this online identity which isn't tied to their physical attributes or to who they are. You know, they can mask all that. They can mask all their insecurities. They can make themselves look beautiful or rich or successful or confident. We can mask all that. And we bury ourselves underneath the surface. And unfortunately, people are so deep on this that they don't know who they are. They don't know what lies underneath all of that lies. And there you go, there's the podcast title, What Lies Beyond Lies. Because it's true. The more we abstract ourselves away from who we are, the more we lose sight of it. We forget what we're even into, what we like, what we dislike. We become so malformed, so detached from who we really are, and we adopt all of these different identities that we can't tell who's the right one. Like, who really are you? Before you got given this identity, before you developed it, before you curated it from all of your experiences and your environment and social pressures and all the rest of it, who are you? And I mean, I have spent a significant amount of time pondering over that question. And the best answer I can come up with now is I am who I am today and I'll be who I am tomorrow. Because I am always changing, and so are you. All you can do is express yourself authentically. Speak honestly. And you may believe that you are honest, but there can be honest without openness. You can hide who you are, mask what you think, mask what you feel. You know, you have all these bad thoughts and you tell yourself, that's not me, that's not my thoughts. And you might be right. But you might also be repressing parts of yourself, parts that only manifest in the form of the most dark thoughts because you have shoved parts of yourself into the shadows where you don't allow it to communicate. You don't allow it to express yourself. So they have to get your attention somehow, and by throwing you some random bad thought, manages to catch that. And it seems trivial, it seems random, it seems unconnected. It may be that you're walking down the street and you see a woman pushing a stroller and you think, I'm going to push that baby in the road. And then you think, what the fuck? Where did that come from? You know, why did that thought come into my head? And that might be linked to something as trivial as just wanting to be noticed, wanting someone to take you seriously or see you, just to know that you exist. And by doing something so extreme, you think things like, well, then they'd be sorry, or then they'd know who I am, or then they'd understand, or then they could see the pain that I'm in. And all of these horrible thoughts just have these basic needs underneath them. And when you understand that, you stop demonizing them. You stop demonizing yourself for having basic needs. They might not be expressed in the right way. It might be that these feelings and thoughts are coming out in ways that are dangerous or disrespectful or harmful or angry. But underneath that is something that is pure. And just because you have a feeling that is pure, that doesn't mean that it's going to get manifested in a pure way. Because anger isn't bad, it's not malicious, it's not evil, it's a feeling, and you are meant to feel it. But because you stuff it down, because you repress it, because you put it in a chokehold and suffocate it, it means that it can't be expressed. It can only be expressed in some extreme ways or get through to you in ways that seem horrible or that you don't like about yourself. And then you demonize it more, and it creates this vicious loop where the more you find those parts of yourself to be disgusting or horrible or bad or shameful or guilty, the more you stuff them down. And the more you stuff them down, the more perverse they'll become, the more egregious they will come out. Or you will become so repressed, so strict on yourself, so good at containing yourself, of maintaining the mask, that you will become miserable, resentful, depressed. That is how you will become, because you stuff yourself in a jail, and that jail is in your mind. And that's the worst place to be. You can't escape that jail. Everything's grey. All the walls are grey. You can't express yourself freely. There's no joy. There's no fun. There's no excitement. And you might be pointing to all of these external factors as to why you're not happy, why you're not satisfied, why you don't do what you want to do, or why you aren't showing up in the world the way that you want to show up. But it's all a farce. It's all excuses. Because you are keeping you in from there. And you might say that there are consequences to expressing myself. Well, let me tell you, there are consequences for not, and you are experiencing them every day. And it may be that for you to be authentic, you need to lose everyone in your life. That must be a price you are willing to pay. It has to be. Because otherwise, what are you going to do? Are you going to live like this forever? Are you going to maintain this charade forever? You are just going to lie to the entire world, to all of your loved ones, all of your friends, and pretend like you don't exist. But you do. And you pretending like you don't exist, and I'm talking about the real you, that's what's causing a majority of your suffering. That's what's causing all of that pain, is you repressing yourself. You have enslaved yourself, you have trapped yourself, and you are the one holding the keys. You don't like to believe it, you don't want to believe it, but you are holding the keys. So now is the time to make that decision and set yourself free. Thank you for listening.